because this right here is the sound of absolute luxury. I think that this tool is probably one of the most well-manufactured, well-engineered tools, multi-tools that exists out there right now. It's the Victorinox Spirit X, the Swiss tool Spirit X. And my God, does this thing have just excellent fit and finish, super shiny out of the box with just a few fingerprints left from that time I opened the box before I was on the camera. If you're not familiar with the Spirit X and the original Swiss tool, they're two plier-based multi-tools that are made by Victorinox, who are better known for their Swiss Army knives, perhaps. But they do make some excellent plier-based multi-tools. They're going to be a more traditional sort of form factor, especially the larger Swiss tool. But the Spirit X has got the external opening tools, which I'm not sure if the larger one does, to be honest. And it's going to have a lot of like flathead, poke and pry sort of implements. There's your three poking and prying tools, and then on this side you've got some more poking and prying tools. But that's kind of what these earlier multi-tool designs are good at. We don't have the bit drivers that we have today. You do have a three-dimensional Phillips, which is super nice. One of the things I absolutely love about this tool is that each of the springs, each of the tools has its own independently machined springs. So you can see that this would normally be the spring to kind of lock the tool out or hold it in place. But each of those move independently, so when you move one tool, the other ones stay put. It's kind of giving you that experience like you would on a Swiss Army knife, which has individual layers, but in a multi-tool that does not clump. All of the interior tools are also locking with this sliding lock bar, which is super nice. And it makes the Victorinox Swiss tool Spirit X a really excellent tool and an enjoyable tool to use and work with. Coming around to the plier head, you can see that they're a pretty blunt nose sort of plier, almost a snub nose plier. I don't have any proper blunt nose pliers, but if I pull out Leatherman Wave plier head, see, they're similar size, but a little beefier on the Victorinox, and they're much more blunt of a tip in both directions. So, take that for what you will, but that's something that you cannot beat, that you're never going to get on the older style Leathermans out of the box, is just a fall open or fall closed plier head. That's super duper excellent. And then when you snap it shut, it does have a really firm kind of detent. You got the spring bar here that locks it into place, both open and gives it a detent in the closed position, so that doesn't flop open on you, but very smooth, very clean opening concept. On the quote-unquote interior tools, I did kind of fan those out earlier, but we'll go through them. You've got a chisel. This is a proper scraper chisel ground thing that will cut into wood. You got two wire strippers, a large one, a rounded one, and then a triangular smaller one. And this is, I don't know if you can tell, but absolutely covered in oil out of the box, as a lot of Victorinox's tools are. You've got the very large flat pry bar bottle opener. This is a small wire stripper, and then the bottle opener, which I think I just said. And last up, you've got your reamer awl. No hole on this one. Does have the utility hook, the multi-purpose hook that Victorinox is so fond of. And then you're going to have two large tools on, I think, both sides. On this side, you're going to have your main blade. And the Spirit X does not open one-handed, but they do have one with that now has one-handed opening and a pocket clip. If you're interested, just check out some of the different Victorinox models, and you're just going to see how absolutely easily this comes out. It's all nail nick based, but nothing else comes out with it. No clumping, just absolutely perfect every time, and it is quite sharp out of the box. And then on the other side, you've got the saw, which Victorinox is very well known for. Let me pull out, I've got a saw here from the Swiss Champ. And actually, the saw here is going to be just a touch shorter, both in cutting edge and in overall length. That's quite funny, but similar tooth pattern, similar stickiness. I think it's going to cut through stuff quite well. Something Victorinox is very well known for. Another thing they're very well known for on the other side is their scissors. Now, I've heard that these are not quite to the same level as the Swiss tool, the 91 millimeter scissors. And again, let's pull some out to compare. I think I've got some on hand still, although I might be sold out. Nope, we've got one there. So here you're going to see they're a complete rework of the scissors. It's got this rounded end to it, and they're going to be kind of that Wenger style where that spring bar, instead of being an independent spring that sits between the two halves of the scissors, it's going to be a spring bar that's integrated into the tool. And so when you press down, that spring's going to move, and it's also going to move that whole half of the scissors as you press. So it's going to be a little bit maybe less precise, but I would never, first of all, I would never like cut intricate patterns with this, but also I would never notice that it's moving, to be honest. They both feel quite good. Neither is serrated. So it's not the full like Wenger style, but it's got that sort of construction. Additionally, the other large tool on this side is going to be the big file here, which is quite aggressive. If you're familiar with Victorinox's files, it is very similar, again, to the Swiss tool sort of pattern, though different shape. It does also have that nice aggressive edge for sawing through stuff. I love using something like this for sawing through plastics. It gets through them quite well. And then we showed the three-dimensional Phillips earlier, which is a step up. It's, again, similar to I've said this multiple times now, but similar to the Swiss Champ style, but a very nice Phillips there. Not sure what this little bump out is for. It might just be a stop so the tool sits to where it's supposed to. Then you've got the can opener, which is pretty standard on Victorinox knives. Has the small flathead and potentially a quasi Phillips head driver there. And last but certainly not least is the itty bitty flathead screwdriver, which is quite small. Again, I think the fit and finish is really what I think sets this tool apart. I would wipe this down with a rag because you're getting fingerprints just from the oil, but just an absolutely lovely luster to it out of the box. Comes in a really kind of understated sheath. I wish that was a button snap. I would probably, I would love to add a button snap to it, but I don't know. You're going to have to deal with your branding badge there. So that would one place of improvement that I'd love to see, but because this would never be a pocket carry, no pocket clip, and also it's just a little bit bigger than I would personally carry. But it snaps into place. Really nice, comfortable. If you're working with, say, the file, you know, it's a really comfortable handle, nice and big. I wear size large gloves, so definitely going to fit in that perfectly well. And then even on the inside, you've got that curvature, which is kind of unique to the Swiss tool Spirit, and that just sits in the hand beautifully, if you can see that. So excellent tool. I think everyone should consider kind of adding one to the collection. I waited till they were on sale. It's not something I'm necessarily going to carry every day. I wanted it for experimentation and for research and development for my shop, but I've really been impressed with it, just pulling it out of the box and tinkering around with it. I think if you're looking for kind of an all-around utility tool, I think this is great. It is going to be, like I said, it's going to be, you know, a lot of poking and prying and prodding stuff. It's not going to be the fancy kind of bit drivers that we see these days, which to me does tend to come in handy more than 3 extra flathead screwdrivers. But excellent tool nonetheless. Highly recommend it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. I don't know what else to say. You guys are just too kind. I'm just going to put this away, and then that's going to be it. I'm just not going to talk about this ever again because I'm self-conscious about it.